Good morning, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland with yet another video on one of my favourite topics, why the United States ought to introduce serious gun control. So, thank you, trolls, for giving me hits. There have been a lot of Britophobic and hibernophobic comments, but no rational arguments, and I'm sure you can do better, because there are a few passable arguments on the gun advocacy side. So fight the substance, not so much ad hominem. You don't do yourselves any favours by indulging that sort of thing. But what I've quite often heard from the pro-gun side is the absolutist fallacy. Can you think of any numbers between 0 and infinity? You can, so therefore you understand the concept of a limit. It is possible to go somewhere between having absolutely no restriction on firearms whatsoever to taking them away from everybody. So, John Paul said, the supreme function of statesmanship is to provide against preventable evils. These gun massacres, they are preventable. Not every time, but at least some of the time. Even when they occur, the death toll could be lower if people didn't have so much ammunition, if they didn't have automatic weapons and so on, things that fired so fast or with such a great range and so on. And other issues that can be done, better training for security guards, faster response times to the police, better lockdown. But you should take a multi-pronged approach. So, gun control has come into the United States gradually, a little bit in the 60s, a little bit in 1993, the Brady Act. If it's so bad, leave the country. You could go to some completely lawless place where the gun laws don't count, or somewhere like Yemen, where almost every man has an automatic weapon, whatever the law says. So maybe gun control isn't so bad, because there were these doom-laden prognostications when minor gun control laws came in the 60s and 1993. So you can see that these Jeremiads proved to be bogus. People said it spelt the end of liberty. If there was any limitation on a person's right to carry a firearm. Remember what the Constitution says, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed, meaning anywhere, anyone, anywhere, anytime, doesn't exclude children or the mentally ill or criminals. Therefore, the Second Amendment is already a dead letter because it's been severely infringed. Many of the gun nuts are Christian fundamentalists. Now, if you're a Christian fundamentalist who believes in gun control, well, good. But I can see why gun nuts might well be religious extremists because they are irrational, because they block out unwelcome evidence. There's cognitive dissonance. They have a belief, evidence proves that belief to be false, therefore they won't accept that the evidence is true. So I noticed that, many gun nuts, they absolutely abominate Black Lives Matter, almost as though Black lives don't matter. Now, the police occasionally need to shoot people. Sometimes that person is black. If that person really is a grave danger, really is about to kill someone else, all right, the police need to do it, as they need to do it to whites in similar circumstances. But some of these gun nuts seem to suggest that the police never, ever wrongly shoot anyone. And if that's the case, why are you worried about only the police having guns? They're not going to wrongly shoot you. Or think that your military abroad has never, ever done wrong and never unjustly killed a civilian. So if your military is never in the wrong, again, surely you shouldn't fear them and think they could be an instrument of oppression, because some people are just childishly partisan and won't accept that anyone who they see as being on their side could ever commit a turpitudinous act. Let me see. The police, when they have to shoot someone dead, they give a reason. Sometimes it's because this man had a gun. He's allowed to have a gun in the United States. There's no reason to kill anyone. He's exercising his rights. Depends what he's doing with that gun. Anyway, I hear this argument from the pro-gun side. Incidentally, not that I'm anti-gun, I just want restrictions on guns. Only 300 people are killed by automatic weapons. Only 300? Would you not save 300 of your compatriots if you could? And if only 300 were killed by Al-Qaeda in 1 year, would you do nothing about that? You consider that a non-issue? You wouldn't call for any more government action, is that right? I don't think so. How many are actually killed by foreign terrorists in the United States each year? Would it be an average of about 10 after 9/11? It's a microscopically small proportion of the US population, and yet it gets a huge amount of airtime, legislation, public funding. The danger is enormously hyped. The response is grossly disproportionate to the actual level of peril. So anyway, I've heard another pro-gun argument. This chap was saying animals have hooves and horns to fight predators. We wouldn't take hooves and horns away from them, so why are you trying to take guns away from us? Well, it's a false comparison. Are we born with guns? Are they attached to our body? So the answer would be no and no. They are manufactured, all right? They're for attacking as much as defense. We can't really tell prey from predators. We want to disarm the predator in this analogy. But, you know, a good person can turn bad or become mentally ill, be a danger to themselves, either through accidents or through committing suicide. Animals almost never commit suicide, particularly with horns and hooves. So people who are suicidal are almost by definition mentally ill, but they're ordinary people who suddenly fall into depression. A woman's lost a job, a man's girlfriend has left him, or they might be in unmanageable debt, they might not be able to afford their healthcare bills, things like that. Would you rather a depressed person had a gun in the house or not? Which would be better for that person's chance of surviving? Now, I know there are many other ways to commit suicide, but with a gun, it's probably the most popular in the United States. People can take tablets. Usually they vomit them up. There's some chemicals in there to make that happen. Doesn't always work, so please don't try it, all right? But with a gun, with a bullet in the right place, that's it. There's no second chances. You don't get to change your mind. You're not going to vomit the bullet back up. Another example, there's this famous internet meme, a photo of two little children, and one of them's holding an assault rifle, the other's holding a Kinder Egg, and the caption says, one of these items is outlawed in the United States because it is too dangerous for children. Guess which? That's right, it's the Kinder Egg. Now, it is daft that a Kinder Egg is regarded as more dangerous than an assault rifle. But if you agree with this, gun nuts say no restrictions on assault rifles. Put it this way, why don't you arm the US military with Kinder Eggs? Get rid of firearms for them. They can fight the enemy using Kinder Eggs. That's right, choke the enemy to death on those little plastic bits in Kinder Egg toys, if you really think that's a sensible law. Now we can have a discussion about toys, and I think this law is partly protectionism by some toy manufacturers in the United States or in China, trying to keep out things from the European Union. And yes, we should have child safety, and yes, there should be consumer protection. But it is a lunatic that this thing is regarded as more perilous than an assault rifle. One of these things is designed to kill, the other is designed to play with. So anyway, keep the comments coming. I try to be courteous. I think it doesn't once cause us disservice to be rude to people. Okay, I have used the expression gun nut, but that's undergone reclamation. Some people proudly proclaim themselves to be a gun nut. So we can have this discussion. It can be much more fruitful if it's courteous. Exchange your ideas. I would acknowledge some decent lines of reasoning on your side. Some people not so good at ratiocination. So personal insults or threats, they really do nothing to advance your cause, but tend only to support mine. So as I say, I believe that sane adults who don't have a criminal record should be allowed to own firearms for sporting purposes, self-defense purposes, sensible ones, in lockable cabinets, all that kind of thing. But there should be many places where they're not allowed to be taken. That's the way the law is where I am from, a citizen of the Republic of Ireland and the United Kingdom.